Hi, Joanne Wilson here, and I want to run through some initial settings that you should make to your website, your WordPress website, once you have logged in for the very first time. I recommend these settings because for security, and I just want to give you a little rundown on the WordPress dashboard. Along the top here, you'll see a black stripe. It's black at the moment, but that stripe along the top is an admin bar. You have some quick links on the top. You can also right-click. I right-click to open a new tab when I visit my site, the live site, because I don't particularly like going back and forth. I'm waiting for it to reload, so I just right-click. This right now is a default theme that's on your site. Let's go back to the dashboard. This is an admin panel. You can collapse this panel and you can open it up. This has all of the administration features that you'll go to when you work on your website. The very first security update or configuration I want to talk to you about is about your login information. So go right here to Users, click on Users, click on your login or username. Now in this panel you can customize how you want this to look. I kind of like this ocean view. I often use the light panel, but I think for this site I'm going to use the ocean site. Put in your name. One thing that I would also recommend is changing your nickname to something other than your username. I just feel it's good practice not to have your username anywhere except as a username. So I am going to change that. Also, display your name publicly as. You should change that as well. Your email. You can change that here if you want. Right here I have a photo popping up because I have a Gravatar account that is associated to this email address. So anytime I use that on a WordPress site, this image pops up. If you want to change your password, you can change it here. I like my password, so I'm not going to do it at this time. One thing you want to do though is keep your password strong. Just copy and paste it into a notepad document and keep it strong. So as I said, I'm not going to change it at the moment. And then if you make any changes, click Update Profile. Always make sure you update the panel that you're in. The next thing I want to do is go and to plugins, your installed plugins. I'm going to deactivate, click here, because I want to deactivate all these pre-installed plugins. Every host out there will install several plugins when you've installed WordPress. They're all generally different, so it's good practice. You just delete them. Jetpack, I know some people use that, but it adds a lot of features that we don't necessarily need. So it's just cumbersome to have that on there. So click deactivate and then apply. So this will deactivate all of them. You see they're all deactivated. I'm going to click on this check mark again so I select them all. And then under bulk actions, I'm going to delete and then apply. You'll get a notification request and you just click OK on that, making sure that you want to actually delete those pages or plugins, excuse me. Next thing we're going to do is go to our posts, and we're going to delete this post that's set in here. I'm just going to push trash. I go to the trash tab. If for some reason I decided I wanted to keep this and I haven't gotten rid of it permanently, I can click restore and it will go back. But I do want to delete this permanently. You can delete it here, or you can just simply click empty trash. I want to do the same thing with my pages. This is a sample page. I don't need it. If you want to look at it, we'll open in a new tab. It just shows you an example of a page in this theme. We're not going to need that page. So again, trash, go to trash, and empty trash. Now, one thing I am going to do is set a home page. This is going to be a temporary page I'm going to set up for the moment. So go to Add New, type in home or whatever you want to put in there, and then click Publish. All right. Now let's run through the settings for the website itself. We'll just start at the top. General. This has your site name. You can change it or keep it the same. This has a tagline. I would recommend making sure your site title and tagline are referencing your site. Again, your email address and admin email address. If you have a membership site, then you might want to click this, but otherwise you leave that unchecked. Set up your time zone. My time zone happens to be in Denver. I'm not in Denver, I'm actually in Montana, but we use Mountain Time Zone, so I'm changing that. I like the date and time, and I generally change this to Sunday so that my week starts on Sunday. No particular reason, it's just a personal quirk of mine. Under the Writing tab, this is used for mostly if you are going to submit blog posts via your email. I don't do that. Most sites and most people don't. So I just put some random characters in here that are recommended by WordPress if you're not going to use this. So I just copy and paste those random characters in there. This is an outdated function and feature, so I just take that out of there. And I click Save Changes. Next is reading. Right now, the home page will display, if you are a blogger, you might want your home page to display your latest posts. Since this is not a blog site, it's a business site. It can be a personal site, but I want a static page. So I'm going to select as my home page as home. If you have a separate blog, you may have set up a page that says blog, and at that point you would select blog under there. I don't have one right now, so that's not there. You would also put in there, if you want in the blog feed, a full text or summary. Most people put a summary and don't have the full text. And if you're working on your site and you don't want it to be indexed by Google yet or other search engines, you can check that, but you would need to make sure you remember to uncheck it. I'm going to be putting a coming soon page on this website, so I'm going to keep that unchecked, and I'm going to save my changes. Discussion. If you have a blog, you might want to allow comments. I don't. If you're not going to allow comments on your pages, then we're just going to uncheck that. Since these are unchecked, there's no other reason to change these. I do just go ahead and select that. to email me whenever anyone posts a comment, even though I don't accept comments. I just want to make sure. You want to choose the little gravatars. If you don't have an image associated with your email address, you can select a gravatar from this list, or just could use the mystery person. I kind of like to have fun images when I'm there. Media. This just shows the typical thumbnail sizes. All of this is general default settings. Your uploads, that would be your images, PDF documents, audio files, anything along that sort that would go into that's an uploads folder. Typically they're sorted by month and year based folders. That can get cumbersome if you have a backup and you're trying to look for a particular image. I think I'm going to uncheck this right now and save my changes. And then one of the most important settings you need to change for SEO purposes, which is search engine optimization, is this. You don't want the search engines to be looking at a bunch of numbers before it gets to your title of your page. You want your post names, your permalink settings to be the post name. This is the most search engine friendly way to have this setting. Change that to post name and click Save Changes. All right, that is how we walkthrough for the initial setup of your WordPress dashboard. Before I take off, there is one additional thing I wanted to show you. In each of these windows, you're going to see a drop down at the top. Some have screen options, some just have a help. This will give you some additional help settings for that panel. On the screen options, for instance, this initially came with a welcome to WordPress. If you uncheck that, that will hide those items. I generally hide those items because I'm not interested in using them, and it just clutters up my dashboard. These items right here are what's left. You can then rearrange those. You can collapse them with these little arrows, keep them open. This is just a quick overview of your site, so I like to keep those open. It tells you what WordPress version you're running on the at a glance, how many pages, what theme you're on. And when you have new posts or comments, if you accept comments, if you're an e-commerce store, it might have some information in there. So this is something that I keep on my dashboard.